some attitude. Setting up. Boom, what a high kick. Ooh. Slam. This might be it. Oh, my. You better be careful not to get disqualified. Reverse STO. Time impact from way up high. Oh, nasty impact. Harsh impact. Face buster. Putting it all on the line. There are two things that are crucial for success in a fatal four-way match: being resourceful and timing. And one is really the product of the other. There are so many things in this type of match a superstar has to keep in mind. And no count out and no disqualification means anything can happen and it's all legal. That's a difficult scenario any way you look at it, especially when you're going up against three other opponents.
Byron, earlier you talked about the importance of timing and being resourceful in a fatal four-way match. That reminded me of the #1 contenders match we saw on Raw in April of 2017. Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks, and Mickie James collided to see who would face Bayley for her Raw Women's Championship. Let's just say in the end, Miss Bliss took advantage of a situation.
The 5 Feet of Fury has her master's and doctorate in timing and resourcefulness. After Nia Jax sent Mickie James flying off the top rope and flattened Sasha Banks with a Samoan drop, Bliss blasted Nia out of the ring with a drop kick and pinned the boss to become #1 contender to the Raw Women's Championship. It was brilliant.
When I talk about fatal four-way matches, I always think back to the classic battle at Backlash 2007 between Shawn Michaels, John Cena, Randy Orton, and the Rated R superstar Edge. The action was so fast and furious from the get-go, it served as a prime example of why a superstar needs eyes in the back of their head in a fatal four-way match.
Byron, earlier you mentioned one of the classic fatal four-way confrontations in sports entertainment history. The match between John Cena, Edge, Shawn Michaels, and Randy Orton for the WWE Championship was a highly anticipated main event. The match saw a temporary reunion of the Rated RKO tag team. It even saw Randy Orton and Shawn Michaels join forces to punish John Cena.
This match defined the chaos of a fatal four-way. In the end, Edge thought his spear on Randy Orton was enough to bring him the WWE title until an AA from John Cena changed that. An unexpected sweet chin music from Shawn Michaels dropped Cena right into Randy Orton. Cena picked up the pinfall victory and retained the WWE Championship.
Since there are no disqualifications in a fatal four-way match, a superstar has to be aware of the fact that if they're in an elimination fatal four-way match, someone who was eliminated can come back for retribution, and it's all legal. So you can eliminate an opponent, and they can interfere in the match later, and there's nothing anyone can do about it.
Myron, you touched on something earlier that's worth repeating. If you're a superstar competing in a fatal four-way elimination match and a competitor is eliminated, they can look to settle a score and affect the outcome of the match later. That's always a possibility in a fatal four-way match because of the no disqualification stipulation.
Michael, that's what I like to call an occupational hazard. We saw an example of that in 2016 during the fatal four-way elimination match to determine the #1 contender for the WWE Championship. The Miz was eliminated from the match, but let's say he had a major influence on the outcome of the contest. That's Dean Ambrose.
Many times in a fatal four-way match, we've seen superstars join forces for the moment in taking out a dominant entity. This could be someone like Big Show, The Undertaker, Kane, and Nia Jax as examples. When a superstar has that type of power and can be that dominant, competitors will put their differences aside in hopes of eliminating that force from the match.
Byron, you made an excellent point a few moments ago. There have been many times throughout history where superstars have joined forces in a fatal four-way match in hopes of eliminating by pinning or incapacitating that dominant force. sometimes interesting alliances are formed. We saw that at the 33rd WrestleMania during the Raw Women's Championship match.
We sure did, Michael. Nia Jax dominated Charlotte Flair, Bayley, and the Boss Sasha Banks in the early going. While they recovered out on the floor, they realized for that moment they were stronger together. The decorated champions eliminated Jax after a triple powerbomb that saw all three superstars assist in the pinfall. When you're a superstar in a fatal four-way match for a coveted WWE championship, or to be #1 contender, or just to settle a score, there are times you could be in there with a tag team partner, a friend, or an ally. I don't subscribe to such things, but remember, in a fatal four-way singles match, it's about every superstar for themselves.
When we talk about fatal four-way matches, and Corey, you mentioned this before, everyone is battling for themselves. Alliances are fleeting, and a rivalry can be conceived or renewed at any time. There are instances when friends have to battle one another if they are to achieve everything they want to in sports entertainment.
Liv Morgan sizing it up.
She's definitely energized, but she better make sure she saves something for later.
Sasha Banks being tested now.
WWE superstars compete in hundreds, if not thousands, of matches in their careers. And for Sasha Banks, there may never be one as impactful than her matchup against Alexa Bliss in Abu Dhabi. WWE Hall of Famer Pat Patterson is credited with creating the Royal Rumble match, which has gone on to become one of the most popular matches in WWE history.
I don't think we can understate what you brought up, Michael. Abu Dhabi really cemented Sasha as a trailblazer, not just for women in the WWE, but for women around the world.
And it was truly an incredible night. To see Alexa Bliss empower an entire nation was awe-inspiring. Oh, and yeah, Sasha Banks was there too.
We've got a raucous crowd here in Philadelphia tonight, but what else would you expect after playing home to ECW for so many years?
Looking a little dazed here.
Yeah, she's definitely not looking herself right now, Cole.
I've talked to several people who think she's bitten off more than she can chew here. I can't say that I agree.
Sasha Banks has been eliminated.